Welcome to the Blue Heat Nation podcast. I'm Rob Pearson. Coach Ricky Woods has joined us, and we were unable to have a midweek update last week due to some work obligations. But, Coach, thank you for taking the time to be with us today and sort of recap. We've gotten 2 wins in the region now, and then we had the homecoming game against Aliceville last week, and we've got a lot of things to talk about, I know. So why don't we just start with Aliceville, because, again, it's homecoming week. And from the casual observer in the press box, it looked like homecoming may have our kids had enjoyed homecoming festivities all week.
Well, they did. It's going to happen. But, those guys can run. And anytime you run, you can get yardage. And they're very athletic, and they sort of what we expected them to be, and we didn't play as well as we had played the week before, and that's a lot of excitement. I know homecoming is big, especially big here, and something going on all the time, and it's just it's sort of hard for them to stay focused. So
I don't think that's terribly unusual, to be honest.
No, that's not. It's just going to be about the only time that I thought homecoming helped prepare for a game was when I was in junior college, and we played on Saturday instead of Thursday nights. So we had about 4 times the crowd come to homecoming, and it was really exciting for the kids to play in front of a huge crowd. And I really thought homecoming in the junior college helped it, so I looked forward to it. But you like to see the guys come back to watch the Automata play, and it's a lot of things happening. Tailgating going on, and old friends hadn't seen each other in a while. And, football is still a social event anyway, no matter how you want to look at it.
Right.
It draws a lot of people together. But, I don't know. We got out with a win, and, we had some injuries. And, we had a big scare with 3 of our players. And but Bryant, he's going to be back, and Josiah's going to be back. They're a little bunged up. But I think by Friday they'll be well. And, we have limited practice with them, but they are practicing some. And Garrett, he's going to be questionable for Friday, but he may make it back. He tried to go a little bit yesterday, and he couldn't make it through practice, but the other 2 could, because he has a ankle injury, and theirs is more of a bruised shin bones and tissues in their legs. So anyway, and we had JP had nose surgery yesterday, but he'll be at practice today, so he got to run with his nose, but you have to admire him. He played through the broke nose that game, and and coming back off the nose surgery. So all these guys are competitors, and Garrett's gonna make it back. We just don't know. An ankle, sort of different. And he's heavy, so it puts a lot of pressure on that ankle. And he's been getting treatment. He tried to go yesterday, and he'll try to go today, and then he's pushing himself, trying to get through, but sometimes the ankle takes a little longer.
I'm glad you mentioned injuries. That was one of my questions, because it was certainly the bittersweet part of the night is those 3 guys. And like Hilchey walked off on crutches.
He did.
It really had you concerned, and we didn't know the status of the other 2, so thank you for addressing that.
We didn't know if they, all 3 of them might have broke bones. Garrett, he went home and went the next morning. The other 2 went that night, and we confirmed they wasn't broke at night about, I guess about midnight. And I talked to Garrett the next morning, and he called me and said it was just full ligaments, and he was not broke, which is good news in all 3 of them. So we were, that's 3 of our better players, and we don't need to lose those guys, 3 seniors and leaders of the team. And, a lot of reasons you don't want to lose them. For them, number 1, and for us, number 2,
No, you're exactly right, and I mean, we injuries can't be a part of our team this year, as you know.
No, we can't.
It's kind of in any year at this level, you just starters are important to you, and you know that. But I thought that to sort of talk about running backs in the last 2 weeks, getting Carlo James back healthy has really helped your running game.
Him and Jamarcus offset each other well. When Jamarcus gets tired, we throw Carlos in there, and Carlos does some things better than Jamarcus, and Jamarcus does some things better than him, and I like it when we drove him down and I'd run him 3 or 4 times, and he was tired, and put Carlos in, and I think he wound up to 1 in scores, and they're they are really they're friends, and they're allies, and they work together really, really well, and that's good because they got a lot of friendship between both of them on the field.
Sort of a thunder and lightning
situation.
Yeah,
I mean, they both do a good job, and it really did help us getting Carlos back because you just got an extra force in the backfield, and anytime you have a starter out, a good player, it hurts you a little bit. So.
And again, we didn't talk last week, but the last 2 weeks, the passing game has. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was against Selma. I mean, the completion percentage for J.W. McAlpin was that we didn't see that against Air in the preseason. Yeah. I know the running game helps, but the development of the passing game has really been something.
Well, we come in, we put in a whole new system and learning each other, them learning me learning them. And the first thing you need to do is establish the running game in any football team. And then we start addressing the passing, and J.D. moving the receiver, it give us a really extra help because between him and Fred, we can stretch the field pretty good. I mean, because that just adds another dimension. And we use Carlos a little bit at H. We use KB a little bit at H, and they're good. And then, we got Bryant where, we use him. Like the other night when he got hurt, we were running verticals from the inside slot. So it don't really matter what set we're in. If we run verticals, it's just different people from different areas running it, but the quarterback has the exact same read. It don't matter who's running it,
right,
or where he's coming from. He's always got the same read. So, JW's beginning to understand that, and we've got guys that can catch the ball. Fred and JP, they gonna usually catch the ball. And they're understanding the RPOs. A lot of those plays are RPOs. I mean, and people don't know what RPO is. The quarterback has a run pass option. He gets a read, and if we think we can throw it with uncontested, we're gonna throw it. And if we think we're going to be contested, we'll take our chances on the running game. And I always tell JW, if there's any doubt, you always hand it off because we block in the play. And but anyway, he's learned a lot more about that. And it just takes a while, a lot of reps for somebody to do that, to be able to do it. And they got to be in sync with the quarterbacks we'll check some at the line, the RPOs. Like the other night, that hitch, we checked it at the line, the hitch, because it was going to be there. So, he's understanding. We want to make things, if they give you something, we need to take it.
Right.
You don't even really have to earn it, just take it.
Right.
There's no need to beat your head against the wall when you know it's going to happen if you just check the play. So we are getting better, and all these kids are really, really smart. And so it's, all you got to do is usually tell them one time. We just tweak things a little bit every week, and it sort of helps us. And, we got a 10 formation that, we use personnel group and use certain people and, different people. And, they do good with that because they just have to learn a certain thing. And actually this week we got a double tight formation with different personnel. So, when you get into a game, it's just sort of what they're running. And, if you need to balance them up, you can go double tight. You got that selection of sets you can get in. And, just sort of the presence of the game because you get a game plan. And if they don't come out in what you thought they was going to come out in, you better have a versatile enough offense you can change a little bit.
And that's happened in the playoffs that I've noticed over the years is most high school defenses can't match personnel on defense.
No,
to your point, if you come out heavy, they're not really changing like you do in college.
Right. No,
you just in 5A, you just go with your 11 a lot of times.
Like those 3-4 backers. I mean, we actually got some outside backers that come down and play in. I call them ghost backers, but a lot of people, they use secondary people that they don't want to be drawn down. They're not ends. like I say, ours they're big enough they can, but if you get a team that got ghost backers that aren't very big, you draw them down, then they're going to have to take the kick outs. And they ain't going to want to do that after a while. So,
right.
it's just you look at the personnel, what you think they're going to be in, and, you try to match your strengths against their weakness. And certain things we do well that we're going to try to run against everybody. Football is not rocket science. You just have to take a lot of time, watch a lot of film. We fortunate here we got filmers, two guys that's in school here. Sam and Eric, they do a good job, and every day they practice with the drone. So, I go home and take my computer home, and you sit there and watch it at night, and you come in this morning, I'm watching it this morning. So, you just sort of, it just sort of helps you. Years ago when I played, and a lot of guys listening to this program, we didn't film practice. We wouldn't set up to film practice. We used a 16 millimeter projector.
Right.
You didn't get but one
I remember
film.
those,
I remember those. And then we went to the VCR, and then you could film it, but, it was just a lot more difficult. And now the technology's got a lot of good things and a lot of bad things. But this is one good thing when I can watch it immediately after practice.
I know, and not to pick on, because I think I've mentioned how great I think the passing game has developed so far this season. I know we'll get better. Both the quarterback and receivers, I think, have upped their game. We did have one of the interceptions that I don't know if maybe we ran a wrong route or what it was, but you immediately went to the tent to see what happened. Yeah. That's how technology is affecting in-game things, right?
Well, we should have we twisted, and JW threw it. He should have hit the outside receiver because the other one got double covered. And that's what I went to see. I thought I was right when I walked over there. And, when we run these verticals, if we twist, the way we run them, we read them. We're going downfield, whether we twist them or not. When we sprint, I give them the obligation at about 13 yards. If they're not behind them, we're going to break off the routes. We'll sit down, and then we'll dig to the inside, and we'll sit down to the outside. Well, when you twist them, you got to double teach it. Because the inside receivers now have changed. He's going to dig it off to the inside, and he's going to sit it. So the break-off routes are totally different than what it was when they first started. And, it's just a little different deal. And it just takes reps and reps and reps and reps just to get the quarterback and the receiver. And, we're not a spread team, but, for years, I ran the spread. And, it was just we had to do routes on there. We had to it was just – passing, and we did what we call noose. They had to catch the ball. Then we had pat and go, and everybody caught all these balls. But we are more of a running team, and because I think our 12 set fits our personnel better. But we still have to work all this in, and you don't want to keep the kids forever because this. We were practicing 3 hours to start with, and the start of the year trying to get all this in because they didn't really know my terminology and just getting across to them how we verbalize things for them to do. But they did it well, and now we down to about, Mondays is 2, Tuesdays about 2 today. We'll probably go an hour and 30 minutes, and then that's what you need to get down to, because they get tired, man. It gets to be a long season, and you need fresh legs and a fresh mind, and you certainly you want to work them hard, but you don't want to take the fun out of this game. They need to enjoy it.
I think they are too. By the way, I know they did Friday night. Now defensively, you mentioned it earlier that the speed, especially the quarterback, sort of was able to hurt us a little bit defensively. And I thought that at the time, we've got to get after him when he's in the backfield, and we did. We started to maybe affect him more in the backfield than as the game went on.
Well, I think that one thing that we've got to improve on, we got to tackle better in the secondary. When we get bad at the second level, sometimes we don't tackle as well if we should. And it's no one individual whatsoever, but you are the last defense at that point. You ain't got to knock him out, but you do got to get him down. I know some
college teams that could improve their tackling in the second level.
Secondary, if you can really tackle in the secondary, because we don't run a lot of man, and some games we might have to, and I'm not really a man guy unless I think I have to, and sometimes you have to. If they're real good passers, you got to get closer to them, But I always like to have 20, 11 sets of eyes, working, and you still can fall off on the run, because if you're man and you run them off, there's no third level, really. They're just going to run. But
well, you're playing a quarterback that's got a lot of experience this coming weekend with the Shelby County Wildcats.
Yeah. So, and they've got a good football team. I mean, I think they're better than they've been in years. 'Cause I think they just same grade played up, So, we know it's a challenge. And I told the kids, I mean, this is a team that could very well beat us if we don't play with everything we got. But I've always been a firm believer. I tell every team I've ever coached, if you don't play really, really hard in these big games or any game, if you don't play really, really hard, you don't deserve to win. I mean, that's why you play games like this. I mean, you gear up and you play hard. I mean, nobody should actually have to talk you into playing this game.
Right.
You ought to want to play this game.
You only get so many opportunities, right?
And the thing about it, even before I got here, that they worked hard all summer, and I come in just right before the season, and I've worked them hard. But you take from last season to now, they've been in the weight room, and the ones that play baseball, I mean, Coach Luke works them just like you do football players in the off season, and you can tell by their built how hard they work. And I would not be able to understand anybody that worked that hard all year long, not play for 48 minutes. And really, if you look at it, most of these kids go one way and they take about 45 snaps.
Right.
Your snaps are, and I tell them this, each snap is about 6 seconds long. When you multiply 6 times 40, let's say you got 240 minutes. You actually not play about 4 minutes the whole night long.
Right.
I believe we can play 4 minutes wide open. If you really look at it, you got 4 minutes. So even though it says 48, but you got to look at that,
There are Coach Spurrier said when he was in Florida, he said, I mean, we only get to play 12 times a year. I mean, why can't we play, but then Coach Stallings made the statement one time that said, every game's important, but certain games are special.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I think the Shelby County game should be approached a little bit that way.
A little bit different.
Because they are, from what I've heard and seen about Shelby County, let's take them in north side, and you look at the score and say, well, that was a blowout. It was not a blowout.
It was not a blowout.
In the fourth quarter, it kind of got some turnovers.
They could have won the game.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a quality football team in region we're playing and hosting here.
Yep.
So
quality. They very well. There's about 2 plays that if they'd have made, they could have beat Northside, and they didn't make them. But still, they could have made them. So they got a good football team. They pretty solid everywhere. They sort of like us. They can throw the ball, but they like to run the ball, and they sort of sting you on defense, and they tackle well, and their special teams are good. So I mean, they're just well coached, So it's just going to come down to execution and effort, and don't turn the ball over.
Coach, we've had 2 good crowds in a row, and I know you're hoping for a third one.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. The fans, I mean, if it was empty out here, these kids would not be excited about playing any. Yeah. I mean, they play for the town and the fans, and the glory about high school football is the community comes together. And I've coached a lot of different. Well, this is my 43rd team, and I know that one time there in Ackerman, I had one guy being recruited. I mean, one guy, it was a small school. And we actually went ahead to win the state, but I thought that was one of the – and my son actually was quarterback on that team. But it was so fun because none of them ever even had any aspirations of playing college football but one. He's the only one. They all knew it. But they had a ball because they played for the community of Ackerman. It was always just a team thing.
Right.
And, there was no recruiters coming by the field house. And not that I don't want recruiters coming by the field house, but
there's pride involved in that.
There was so much pride involved in that because we didn't really have any real good players. We just had a good team. And I think of that team a lot because I did. Because I've had other prospects, and they did good, and they played for the community. I know Jamarcus Sanford played for me, and he played at Ole Miss, and he went and played in the NFL for 8 years, safety for the Vikings. And I asked him one time what was his favorite part of ever playing football when he retired. He said I like playing for South Panola High School better than I did at Ole Miss or for the Vikings. He said they was my best days. He said I can honestly say that I had more fun in high school than I did anywhere else.
I'm a firm believer that around the state, probably more than any other factor, people know Demopolis by what they have heard or read or seen of our football team than anything else that we do as a community.
Right.
And so I agree with you. I think.
Yeah, I mean it's just, it just brings all the people of all different cultures, all different races, and all different socioeconomic levels. It brings everybody together for one common cause.
That's right.
They got something in common. They want Demopolis to play good and win. You know, and the kids, they see it, but when they get older, they gonna see it a lot more.
They appreciate it.
They appreciate it a lot more, and it's just.
And they'll come back and try to teach that generation. Look, you don't know how important this is.
Carlos James, Daddy was a great player here, and Carlos is a good player here. Carlos, he'll probably have children if he stays here, and then he'll look back when he played, and his child will be playing. It's just a generational thing. It's just sports. It doesn't have to be football. It can be band. It can be softball, it can be anything. You still got the same deal. I mean, that's athletics is so important to a community anywhere, but especially a place like Demopolis that that's why you need the school system and Dr. Pugh's going to. You got to put money in athletics because you took your average daily attendance. If we did not have athletics here, you would drop by about 20% on who comes to school every day. I mean, I've graduated. I mean, when I played, I didn't think, I wasn't worried about going to school or college. I mean, I just wanted to play. I went to school to play football. And then, of course, as I got older, I said, well, I'm going to have to do something else now. I might need to go to college or go to work or something. And it gets them through.
It gets them to kids are motivated to graduate.
And they mature, and then they can decide what they want to do.
I also believe, and this is the last thing I'll say on that, is it sets a culture and a tone for the entire school.
Oh yeah,
is that if you're aspiring for excellence in athletics, there's a greater likelihood they'll aspire for excellence in the classroom, and in theater and band and all the other things that are associated with what we do here at the school. And so I like you. I hope you scream it louder so the people in the back hear you.
Yeah. Well, my older son, he was not an athlete at all. I made him play seventh, and I made him play eight, and he was not an athlete. He'll be the first one to tell you. And me and Sue, we moved, and Sue had to stay at the other school about 17 miles away. Long story short, he come before season started, and he said, Daddy, I'm not playing ninth grade football. I'm not very good at it, and I don't even like it. I said, that's good. I told my wife, and she said, I'm going to make him play football. I said, if you do, you're going to get to come down there and coach him. I can tell you right now. Because he's terrible at it, and he don't like it.
Yeah.
And my youngest son was better. But I did tell my oldest son, I said, you got to be a part of it because I'm not going to just let you go home and stuff. So he was my manager for 4 years. And he enjoyed it, but he was part of a group, even being the manager.
Yeah.
And he had friends on the team, and they're lifelong friends right now because he's part of a group. And it's important because I didn't want to get him to go somewhere and be in trouble. So I made him do that now. They didn't make him play, but I did make him manage.
You've got managers, you've got a film crew that you mentioned, and there's
roles
here.
Roles. We got water girls, we got managers for water girls, we got filmers, we got all these kids. We got probably 15 kids, and they're very important to this program. And I'm proud to have them. And you got the cheerleaders who support us, and you got the band that supports us, and all of it fits together for a common cause. And all of this is important. Mm-hmm. You take. If you want to walk over there and everybody be present, and you say you stand up if you're in an activity, any activity you're doing, that's extracurricular, you would hope that everybody in that building would stand up.
Everybody should, right?
Everybody should, and you got to do something. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's just. I mean, I'm sure they got a chess club or something over there. Be a part of something.
At some point, do something that makes you put Demopolis across your chest.
Yeah, and you make friends. You have a lasting relationships, and your friends. You need to select the ones that compatible to you. And you'll be lifelong friends.
Yep, and Coach, we could go on and on.
I know.
You and I are on the same page, pal.
Yeah,
I tell you.
yeah.
But thank you for your time. We got Shelby County Wildcats coming to Tiger Stadium Friday night. It's kickoffs at 7 o'clock. The airtime 6:30 on the network, so you won't want to miss that. And Coach, best of luck to you preparing and getting ready for Friday night.
Well, I appreciate it, and I do appreciate the people in the stand, the fans. It's important. Are very supportive, and it's a great community, and it's been a good experience for everybody. We just need to try to keep winning.
Absolutely. Coach Ricky Woods of the Demopolis Tigers. You've been listening to Blue Heat Nation podcast. Blue Heat, everybody.